You're at a neighborhood birthday party, and the scene is a sensory landmine. High-pitched squeals, a blur of running legs, and a table draped in neon blue cupcakes and electric red punch. You see your child, the one who worked so hard all week to keep it together in the classroom, reach for a second cookie with a bright yellow frosting. Within 20 minutes, the flicker happens. It's like watching a storm front move in over a clear horizon. You see it in their physical presence before the first word is even spoken. Their pupils might dilate, making their eyes look dark and unreadable, or they get that 1,000-yard stare where they are looking at you, but they aren't with you. The laugh that was sweet 10 minutes ago now has a frantic, jagged edge to it. It's too loud, too sharp, and it doesn't stop when the joke is over. You see the tension in their jaw, the way their shoulders hike up toward their ears, and the restless, jerky movement of their limbs. They aren't just playing hard, they are vibrating with a nervous energy that they don't know how to discharge. It's the sound of a motor redlining, humming at a frequency that feels like it's scraping against your own nerves. Then comes the collapse, a shove in the bouncy house, a shattered toy, or a screaming, arched back meltdown because it's time to put on shoes. And as a parent, you feel it in your own body. Your heart starts to thrum against your ribs because you know what's coming. It's a specific kind of dread, a cold knot in the pit of your stomach as you realize the point of no return has passed. As you scoop up 40 pounds of flailing, screaming limbs, you feel the heavy silence of the other parents. You feel the heat of the parental spotlight, the crushing weight of a dozen silent eyes judging your failure to control your child. You feel small, exhausted, and profoundly lonely. You swallow the lump in your throat, tuck your chin, and carry the weight of their dysregulation and your own heartbreak all the way to the car. It is the loneliest walk a parent can take. But deep in your gut, you know this isn't a lack of discipline. You are witnessing a neurological hijacking. What the world calls defiance is actually a brain on fire. Welcome back to the Path to Peace Therapy podcast. I'm Stephanie Buckley, a solution-focused parenting strategist, ADHD specialist, and family systems coach. I specialize in helping families navigate ADHD, executive functioning challenges, and the emotional patterns that keep households stuck in cycles of frustration, avoidance, and conflict. My work is deeply rooted in solution-focused therapy, a model that typically moves us away from analyzing the why of a problem and instead focuses on identifying the practical strategies to build momentum. However, in my 3 decades of experience, I've realized something critical. To find the right how, we must first respect the biological why. When we are navigating ADHD and neurodivergence, the why isn't a psychological mystery to solve. It is a capacity issue. If a child's nervous system is being hijacked by artificial dyes or neurochemical instability, they literally do not have access to the solutions we are trying to build. By understanding the biology behind the behavior, we stop fighting a battle of wills and start solving a barrier of biology. We look at the why so that we can clear the path for the how. I also lean heavily into Bowen family systems theory, which teaches us that no child or parent exists in a vacuum. Families are emotional units, and when one member struggles with regulation or motivation, the entire system adapts. Understanding these interconnected patterns is the key to lasting change. I bring more than just clinical theory to this microphone. I've been married for over 3 decades and have lived the journey of raising a now thriving 23-year-old neurodivergent son with ADHD. We are so proud of the man he has become, a talented 23-year-old singer-songwriter and gifted multi-instrumentalist whose dedication to his craft and musical range truly reflect his passion for creating and performing music as a career. My personal experience as a parent and my professional work intersect every single day. I'm here to help you look beneath the behavior so you can move your family from chaos and confusion into clarity, confidence, and peace. To understand today's topic, we have to look at what artificial food dyes red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1 actually are. They aren't food. They are synthetic, petroleum-based compounds. When your child swallows that bright drink, their body doesn't recognize it as a nutrient. It sees an intruder. For our children with ADHD or sensory sensitivities, these dyes act as neuroactive triggers, crossing the blood-brain barrier and throwing a jagged wrench into the delicate gears of neurotransmission. Imagine pouring thick, gritty sand into the engine of a high-performance sports car. That backfire is the impulsive shout, the inability to keep hands to themselves, and the sudden, gut-wrenching tearfulness that leaves you both hollowed out. This is where it gets complicated. You might think, we don't do soda, so why is my child still struggling? The reality is that artificial dyes are hidden in places we've been taught to trust as healthy. They are in the strawberry yogurt that contains red 40 just to look more appealing. They are in natural fruit snacks, chewable vitamins, and even white marshmallows, where blue 1 is used as a brightening agent. Most frustratingly, these dyes are prevalent in the very medicines we give our children when they are hurting. The bright pink fever reducer or the orange cough syrup. When your child is already sick and their nervous system is under stress, we are unknowingly introducing a neuroactive chemical that can trigger a secondary behavioral meltdown. It's in the pickles in their lunchbox and the wheat bread that uses dyes to look more hearty. We have to become label detectives. Think about the Tuesday morning tragedy. Your child eats a bowl of cereal, the kind that turns the milk a vibrant, artificial pink just before the bus arrives. By the time they hit the classroom, that red 40 is surging through their system. While the teacher explains long division, your child isn't being difficult. Their nervous system is literally humming. Their thoughts are racing like 40 browser tabs open at once. By recess, their fuse is a 1/4 inch long. When a friend accidentally bumps them in line, the amygdala, the brain's smoke detector, screams, "Threat." The histamine surges and they lash out. They spend the rest of the afternoon in the principal's office, soaking in the message that they are a bad kid. But they aren't bad. They were biologically primed for failure before they even finished breakfast. When a child's system is flooded with these dyes, the amygdala doesn't just chirp, it blares. Suddenly, the scratch of a pencil sounds like a chainsaw. The tag on their shirt feels like a thorn. This is the no-win scenario. The emotional brain is hitting the gas, and the prefrontal cortex, the logical CEO, has lost the brakes. When your child screams over the wrong color cup, they aren't being a brat. Their logical brain is offline. They are a passenger in a vehicle careening out of control, and they are just as scared as you are. The most heartbreaking part of this is the erosion of the parent-child connection. When we call these moments oppositional or lazy, our children start to believe those labels. They go to sleep feeling like a bad kid, and you go to sleep feeling like a failure. But what if the culprit was sitting in the pantry all along? By removing the biological trigger, we are protecting their self-esteem and giving them back the ability to be the kind, creative child they truly are underneath the noise. We cannot do this to them, we must do it with them. If we just take away their favorite snacks, it feels like a punishment. But if we explain the why, we turn them into the lead scientist of their own brain. I like to tell children, your brain is like a super fast race car. It's powerful and amazing. But some foods have glitchy colors in them. Those colors are like putting the wrong fuel in your tank. They make your engine sputter and make it really hard for you to steer. Make it a game. Give them a magnifying glass and let them be the label detective at the grocery store. Have them hunt for the red 40 or yellow 5 monsters. When they find a dye-free alternative they love, celebrate it. Let them choose the new brain power snacks. When they feel like they are in charge of making their engine run smoother, they aren't just following a rule, they are learning self-care and autonomy. The first step is a commitment to a 21-day trial, which serves as a behavioral experiment to see exactly who your child is without chemical interference. This requires becoming a label detective across all areas of your home. Start with a school lunch audit, swapping out those neon orange crackers for organic popcorn or dye-free cheese sticks. Perform a beverage reset by replacing sports drinks with fruit-infused water and do a medicine cabinet purge, opting for dye-free versions of acetaminophen or cough syrups. When social events arise, employ a birthday party protocol where you bring a safe, dye-free treat so your child doesn't feel left out. Finally, initiate a breakfast shift, trading vibrant, sugar-laden cereals for plain oats with honey or dye-free waffles. Over these 3 weeks, you aren't just changing food, you are clearing the neurological noise to let your child's true personality shine through. To keep the brain from drifting into high arousal territory, we use the protein buffer. Protein acts as a metabolic anchor, slowing the absorption of sugars and stabilizing the nervous system. Before heading to any social gathering, provide a pre-party shield, a hard-boiled egg, or a turkey roll-up to coat the stomach and buffer the impending chemical spike. Implement the apple and peanut butter rule, ensuring your child never eats a naked carbohydrate. Every snack needs a protein anchor like nut butter or cheese. During high-stress times, like a homework fuel-up, provide Greek yogurt or beef jerky to support executive function. At the dinner table, use the dinner-first requirement, where protein is finished before any colorful dessert is touched. To ensure a restful night, a bedtime stabilizer, like a high-protein snack, can prevent those middle-of-the-night adrenaline spikes that lead to night terrors or early morning irritability. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to externalize the glitch, which removes the shame from the behavior and helps your child understand their own internal state. Instead of reprimanding them, try a body talk reframe, saying, "I see your muscles are feeling loud right now," which acknowledges their physical restlessness without judgment. Use the lid flip identification to explain that their thinking brain has simply lost its connection and needs help reconnecting. Practice the sensory check-in by noticing when their ears or eyes are becoming extra sensitive and offering an exit. If you know they've been exposed to dyes, offer post-exposure grace, acknowledging that the red juice is making their fuse feel short and that you are there to help them ride it out. By using glitch language, you reinforce the idea that the dysregulation is a temporary biological event, not a character flaw. When exposure happens, and in the real world, we move into the after-action soak, a form of nervous system first aid designed to de-escalate the fire in the brain. Start with a magnesium reset, using a lukewarm Epsom salt bath to naturally relax the muscles and calm the nerves. Create a low lumen hour by dimming the lights and turning off the TV to lower the total sensory load on the brain. Support the body's detoxification with a hydration flush, using superhero water to help the kidneys process and eliminate the synthetic load. If they are feeling wired, encourage a heavy work release like wall pushes or jumping on a trampoline to ground their nervous system through proprioceptive input. Finally, provide a no-talk connection where you simply sit nearby with a weighted blanket, offering a calm, silent harbor for them to dock into until the chemical storm finally passes. This episode is for educational purposes and to provide support. It's not a substitute for professional mental health evaluation, diagnosis, or treatment. The more we learn to recognize the signs behind the behaviors, the more compassion and support we can offer to our kids, our partners, and ourselves. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode was helpful, I'd love it if you shared it with a fellow parent, caregiver, or educator who might need it too. You can also subscribe to stay up to date on future episodes and check out additional tools and resources at thepaththopeacetherapy.com. Follow me on Instagram at thepaththopeacetherapy. If you are in California, I offer virtual sessions if you are not in the Hermosa Beach and South Bay area. You can book online at The Path to Peace Therapy. And as always, Take a deep breath. Give yourself some grace. And remember, peace is possible, and you don't have to do this alone.